Namaste, friends. Today, I'd like to share with you a quick reset for the hips and the legs for my cyclists out there. But challenges related to our hips don't just affect those of us that are cyclists. Also, if we're doing any other endurance activity, and even if we're sitting, we can tend to get very tight hips, tight low back, tight quads and hams. And so this little reset comes to us from the Yin Yoga tradition. Yin Yoga is a relaxing, cooling, restorative practice that comes from China and was first brought to the United States in the 1970s by the martial arts expert Polly Zink. And rather than working muscularly, Yin Yoga works on the fascia, the connective tissue. And you can think of fascia as almost like a sweater that sheaths the internal organs and the muscles. And so the series of poses we'll do today are called the dragon sequence. And they're aiming to transform, to lengthen, to stretch the connective tissue. So with yin, it's a little different than a traditional vinyasa or hatha yoga practice in that we hold our poses for anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes. And the reason why is that connective tissue operates a bit differently than muscle. And connective tissue is strong and fibrous. So much like saltwater taffy, when it's taken out of the wrapper, it's really tough. But once you actually place the taffy in your mouth and you masticate and the saliva works in your mouth with the taffy becomes more pliable. Well, that's the same idea with the connective tissue. We will hold these poses, allowing the muscles to settle. And once the muscles have settled, the connective tissue is allowed to relax. So for the purposes of demonstration, I'm only going to demonstrate on the right side. And I will demonstrate each pose for 1 minute. But I encourage you to pause the video after the one side, 1 minute, and have a trusty handy dandy timer. And you, like I said, can hold these poses anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. And then, because they're asymmetric, we're doing one side at a time, rather than going through all of the poses on the same side, switch it up. So you'll do one pose, 2 to 5 minutes on the right side, then switch over to the left, same thing, 2 to 5 minutes, and then move on to the next pose. So I hope you enjoy this dragon series, and I will look forward to seeing you on the mat in the future. Namaste. We will do 4 poses on the right side, 1 minute each. So the first pose is called Baby Dragon. So if you've got blocks or textbooks or anything that is stable and that would provide you some security and you feel like you'd like to use those, you can get those now. You don't need to use the props, but they're there to enhance your experience. So all of these poses, we begin from a position of a low lunge. So the right leg is going to come forward, knee over ankle. Again, the blocks are here. We've got our handy dandy timer. We're going to start here and we come in, pressing the top of the back foot down, bringing attention into the baby toe, settling in for the long haul, knowing that adjusting in yin is not fidgeting. Rather, the muscles are yielding. The connective tissue, the fascia, is adjusting as a result of the pressure being placed on it. So just come to stillness, and we're already 3/4 of the way into our 1 minute. Breathing easy and deeply. Nothing is rushed here. 1 minute has elapsed, so go ahead, pause the video. And we move to our second posture, dragon flying high. So moving out of baby dragon, drawing the hips gently back towards the back of the mat, melting the heart down towards the thigh, towards the floor. Take a pause here. And for dragon flying high, we return to that low lunge, knee over ankle. And if it's available, we take the fingertips, interlace them, take them on top of the upper thigh, not the knee. We want to press down, not directly on the knee, but rather somewhere on the thigh. And here we are for 1 minute minimum. Not only working the hips here on that front leg, we're also working the ankle and the Achilles. Yin Yoga not only is oriented towards the connective tissue, but the poses themselves also work on various meridian lines in the body. And the meridian lines here that are worked are the kidney, urinary tract, stomach, and spleen meridians. We're already 45 seconds in. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face. You're at 1 minute. Pause it here. Moving 2 to 5 minutes. And once again, to move out of dragon flying high, we drive the hands down, slowly and deliberately, driving the buttocks to the rear of the mat, melting the upper body down to the floor. No strain on the upper body here. Pausing, maybe at any point, drawing the leg back and taking a wide-legged child's pose before you move into the second side or before you move into the next posture. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face. We move to our next pose, twisted dragon. Once again, coming into that low lunge position. Right leg comes forward. This time, we take that right hand on the right thigh. Left hand is either on a block or on the floor, and we twist, holding here for 1 minute. Softening the joints. Try to move your attention away from the muscles. Try to feel your bones. These poses are deep groin and hip openers that get right into the joint. Working hip flexors and quadriceps, those areas that as cyclists give us the ability to push up the hill. Also great postures for sciatica. 10 more seconds to 1 minute. Pausing here for your 2 to 5 minutes. And then again to come out of the position, taking both hands down onto the floor or onto blocks, slowly driving your hips back, pausing here. Again, the pause may be in the lunge, or maybe you add in a wide-legged balasana, child's pose, before you take it over to the other side or before you move into the next position. The next posture will be our last, and it's called gecko. So rising back up onto all fours, and just like the previous poses, it's a low lunge to begin, but we take the low lunge out a little bit wider. And depending on the hip flexibility, you might remain on the mat with that front foot, or you may even wiggle it out to the side. The hands come down either onto blocks on whatever level feels appropriate, or maybe coming all the way down. And we begin our 1 minute here. You can be a winged gecko here if you want to add a little bit of movement, very gentle, to the hip. But we don't do anything aggressive in yin yoga. Everything's done slowly and gently, easing into and out of our poses. Relaxing into the position. Leveraging the breath, full and steady. Beautiful. You're at a minute. Pause and hold. And then again to exit and to depart from the position. Hands are leveraged on the floor. Slowly walking your hands back, driving your buttocks to the rear of the mat. Melting and yielding here. Advancing over to the second side, perhaps with a short child's pose in between. And then rising up gently and slowly, making your way to a comfortable seat. A seat where your spine is long, taking a moment, closing your eyes. Expressing gratitude to this incredible vehicle that we have been gifted, our body, which allows us to do amazing things both on and off the road. Let's take 3 circular breaths. So hands down, palms open, inhale. Touch the palms, draw the energy to the heart as you exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Pause at your heart. Take a moment. Take a breath. I hope you enjoyed that quick hip reset. And for my fellow Pelotoners, I am out there at Vic Warrior Yoga. I look forward to seeing you maybe out in the world of Peloton or maybe on the mat. Namaste.